What's on Your Mind is sponsored by ACMC 339 Dudley Road, New Star Radio 98.7 FM, Breakthrough Studios, and Reggae Jam.
Good afternoon. How you doing? Welcome to another program in the series of What's on Your Mind. How you doing? Hope all is well with you. This is a live stream. We apologize a little bit this afternoon because we're running a little bit late, but that's how it goes sometimes, because that's how live stream goes, sometimes you have a little bit of hitch and things can be a little bit bad. Let me say thank you for tuning into the program. Thank all you guys who've been tuning into the program over the last how many weeks. We appreciate your support, and we ask you to continue supporting the program. And we also ask you to press the subscribe button. You don't have to pay, it's free. So please do that for us. Yeah, we appreciate it so much. And I say thank you for actually supporting the program. I want to say also a big shout out to Sister Audrey. Sister Audrey, let me say thank you. You know what that is all about. Also, all you guys in Canada who supported the show. You guys in the United States who supported the show. My family back in Jamaica. You know I always say that. Big shout out to you guys. At home in the UK, Birmingham, let me say thank you for supporting the program. Maximum respect. Also got a fantastic guest with me in the studio today. Her name is Sister Efri. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Welcome. I know, I had to struggle with your name then.
It's all good, you got there in the end.
So, welcome to Breakthrough TV.
Thank you.
So, how are you?
I'm good, thank you very much.
How's your day been?
Good day. The sun's been shining.
The sun's been shining, hasn't it?
Always a good day when the sun's shining.
So, what have you been up to?
Not much today. A little bit of shopping with my daughters, and just sat in the garden, enjoyed the sun.
Yeah.
Got to get the rays as much as you can.
And what do you do?
I'm retired.
Yes.
But I used to work in a primary school, mentoring, child protection, safeguarding, behaviour management.
Marvellous.
Trained aromatherapist.
Okay.
And I'm studying a little herbal course at the minute.
Fantastic. You mentioned child protection in there, didn't you?
Yes.
Because we're going to talk about that a little later on, yes?
Mm-hmm.
What about music? Do you like music? What sort of music are you into?
I love music.
Yes?
Yes.
Who are your favourite artists, say?
I don't have a favourite artist.
Yeah?
But anything that's rootsy.
Yeah.
Burning Spear.
Okay.
Black Uhuru. Matty Diamond.
Okay, some of my favourite artists in there.
Some of them, and anything that touches my soul.
Touches the roots.
And, some old school stuff. I was raised on Tamla Motown and stuff like that, so you can't go wrong with a bit of Tamla Motown.
You told me you was born in Wales.
I was.
Serious? How did you find that?
Tough, to be honest.
Really?
Had a lovely family. It was all lovely and safe at home, but very racist.
Serious?
60s, 70s.
Yeah?
Yeah, very.
How did you cope with it?
Fought a lot. I fought a lot. We all did as a family, Sometimes the whole street would be out and wanting to fight us for some reason or another. So, it was tough, but, we had a lot of good times as well. We had all the beaches and
marvellous
greenery.
You from a big family?
Lovely. Yes, I'm one of 8 children.
Marvellous.
Yeah.
And your parents, from where were your parents?
My dad, Jamaica, Kingston. My mum was born in England.
Oh, marvellous.
English African.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit of mix going on there. So, yeah.
You socialise much? How do you socialise?
Usually one-on-one. I might meet up with a sister, go for lunch. Yeah. Or if there's a dance, playing roots music, I will go to a dance. Yeah. But, mainly chilling with my sister-ins, or me and my daughters will go to the movies, or the park, or we travel down to Wales. Yeah. I go to Wales. My sons live in Wales.
Marvellous.
Well, so, yeah.
Thank you. Anyway, let me stop you there, because, one of the things about this, I always have a look at what's happening around the world and give you my opinion, guys, of what is happening around the world. And as you know, the war is still going on in the Ukraine, and it's terrible war that's going on, actually. However, I came across a story that sort of the Daily Digest, and it asks the question, are racism a double standard, a driving refugees policy in the UK crisis? It says the world has shown solidarity to 3 million Ukraine refugees who's on the march, trying to find somewhere else to live, trying to avoid the troubles. You know what I mean? And it also says Europe has welcomed all these refugees. You know what I mean? However, and still in Ukraine, Africans, South African, also Middle Eastern people has come, and the racism from Ukraine citizens. Yeah. So it's begged to ask the question, does European treat people of color, I'm not saying all European, let me get that straight. Does European treat people of color different from they treat what we call Ukrainian people? Because they say we've seen a lot of racism there going on in Ukraine as well towards African or African who's trying to flee. The other thing I haven't noticed, now we've got African and different races, what we call people of color, trying to get out of Ukraine. I haven't seen many of them coming into Europe. Have you?
No.
You haven't seen many of them coming to Europe? No.
Poland don't want them.
Yeah, and yeah. As I say, I haven't seen many of them coming into Europe, no. or again an opportunity to sort of come into Europe.
Yeah, outright Poland have said we don't want them.
We don't want them.
No.
And that is actually
no apology.
That is actually disgusting because everybody's trying to get out, and I mean all these refugees. I guess say Africans they can't always go sort of rush. You want to get out the best way you can. And if we're in a bus or if we're anywhere and the bus is crashed, we're all getting off the bus together and go somewhere where it's safe, innit?
Yeah. I've seen some appalling footage of how they've been treating our African brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Appalling. Some of the African countries have managed to, send flights to get their people out.
Yeah.
But those who are trying to get to the border, being pushed off the trains.
Yeah.
Ahead of a white woman, a black woman that's been pushed off the train.
Yeah.
And when they reach the border, they're separated.
Yeah. And we see even the Ukraine people taking better care of their animals than allowing people to get on the train, don't we?
Well, they say the European love their dogs more than they love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me move on. Thank you for that. Now, the other story that comes to mind is that this is actually terrible. A British schoolgirl was stripped while at school by police and teachers, all combined together. And this 15-year-old is a Nubian girl, and she's actually going to sue the Met Police in London. She's also going to sue the school. You know what I mean? This is actually a terrible thing that's been going on, and I'm going to have a rant about this later on because this is one main part of our rant, which is actually disgusting. This lady was actually, young lady, 15-year-old, was actually menstruating. There was no adult present. And she was strip searched for what? Cannabis. Now, cannabis is everywhere. I don't particularly do cannabis myself. But cannabis is also what you could call a mild drugs now, yeah? And a lot of people take cannabis, and a lot of places are making cannabis legal. But yet, in London, in the UK, we have a 15-year-old child in stripped search in school. No adult presence. But I have a lot to say about that later on, so let me move on. Now, a Jamaican and in the Bronx at a place called Dunkin' Donuts. He got into a little bit of scuffle or argument with a lady. And because they was fighting about getting into a line, or you know how you queue up or come out of a line. So she got into a little bit of argument or a little bit of scrape. However, the lady came out of the, she says everything was all right. After they got into the scuffles, everything seems to have calmed down. However, she walks out the donut place and she seems to have called somebody. And the young man ended up being killed. Now, the police are actually looking for this lady. Stephen Stewart, 26-year-old, has families in Jamaica, and he hasn't been in the United States for very long. And it seems he was actually helping his family, to back in Jamaica to help them to, and he's come to the United States to make him better himself. And as I say, it is a terrible thing to see what happens to that young man. And I say they're still searching for this this man, and still searching for this lady. As I say, the Bronx police are trying to find this lady, and they still haven't found her yet. And we hope, this is a terrible thing. We hope they find her very, very soon, because, I mean, as I say, a young man like that who sort of comes to help his family and do something is gunned down on the streets. So we say as well, condolence to his family and his friends, wherever they may be. Yeah. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now, come to the UK. A drive-by shooting. Now, this guy has been jailed for 5 years because what he actually do, he opened fire outside school, and the school CCTV pick him up, and he's been jailed for 5 years. And the shooting he actually did as well, actually hit a bystander, which was actually terrible. And as I said, this man has been jailed. His name is Sean Cohen, and he's from Manchester. They say he's been jailed for 5 years. I don't know if 5 years is enough, you know what I mean? But I think they should actually do something with guns on the streets anyway. Yeah. Don't forget, as I say, to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for tuning into the program. My next story is like wow. What can I say about my next story? According to an ITN report, more than 80% of UK police accused of domestic abuse in the past 3 years still allowed to keep their job. Less than 9% were disciplined, and conviction was also at the 3.4%. Data obtained under the Freedom of Information Act. This is where this information is actually coming from. Yeah. What do you think of that?
Well, I'm not surprised, should I say,
You're
to
not
a point.
surprised.
Well, if you see how the police treat people on the street, they've got some sort of anger issues.
Yeah.
They must have.
Yeah.
They must have. Are they not meant to serve and protect? And
Yeah. How does it compare to, say, when because you was born in this country? How does it compare to how has it changed, or has it get any better, or has it get worse?
I don't think it's changed at all.
Serious?
No, I think, and I don't know if it's got any worse. I just think we've got social media now. We've got TV channels all over the
that's showing
place.
everything.
You know, we had 3 channels back in the days, in the 60s. Now you've got 100
Yeah.
and like 20 news channels and YouTube and everything else.
Yeah.
So I think it was bad enough then. My brothers have told me stories of coming out of nightclubs and being told by police, you take your beating here, or we arrest
serious?
you and beat you down the station.
My days.
So, yeah, nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
Unfortunately.
It's one of them ones, isn't it? Now, my next story is like, I go to the United States. Senator Scott. Have a listen to this then. We still have people dying on the street. We still have people dying in our nations. The system is broken. There will be another George Floyd. And this is after George Floyd, you see. The President of the United States and all different parties decided that they was going to have a George Floyd sort of bill. Now, the George Floyd bill is there. And it's set up to, what we could say, regulate the police. Or, yes, I'm going to say regulate the police. Yeah, because the police in America do all kind of things, don't they? So, all these politicians see this was going on. And I say after George Floyd, they bring what you call the George Floyd Act. However, nothing has happened. Nothing has changed. Because both sides, the Democrat and the Republican, cannot come to an agreement. So, nothing has changed. And I say, when Biden get in, he promised he was going to do this, and all the sort of Congress people, this needs to change, and this needs to change. You see families there also saying there's nothing actually has changed with this sort of situation. And sometimes, you see people say, I'm going to do this, when I get into power. I'm going to do that when I get into power. And when they get into power, nothing.
Yeah.
Disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing changes.
Nothing changes, Wow. Let me move on. Now, my next story, I'm going to go to Jamaica. Now, the Prime Minister, which I'm supporting the PM of Jamaica here now. I got to put it this way. I am supporting the PM of Jamaica now. Now, Jamaica PM Andrew Holness has warned people, Jamaicans who live overseas, stop sending guns to our country. Let me put it this way. Uno stop sending gun out there. Uno who live abroad, stop it. Because uno causing more problem. And he's actually asking for international help. So he can sort this out. And he is asking for international help, as I say, so the international force will actually know when this is happening. I want to arrest what country is it and take them out. Yes, you know what? I remember, them used to send barrel of Jamaica. Them used to sell clothes. Them used to sell food. Them used to sell all kind of different things. Them used to sell out there. Now, Jamaican overseas are sending guns, which is absolutely disgusting. All you do is just improve the country's crime out there. You know what I mean? I says improve, didn't I? The improve is the wrong word, but that's what literally doing. When you're sending this thing to kill people, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's not improvement. It's disgusting. Yeah. So, I'm going to stop it. Yeah. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Yeah. My next story now is, where am I going to go? Now, I got to hold it there because there's a couple of things I want to look at in Jamaica as well. There's a couple of things I actually need to. So let me hold the Prime Minister there. Like, let me look at this. Yeah. Because 105 people killed in motor vehicle accidents in Jamaica since the start of the year. Now, in St. Elizabeth, a man was killed, another shot, a woman sexually abused. These people was robbing a bank. Disgusting. And the most disgusting one of all, that's really, I don't even want to say this. I don't really want to say this. Now, this makes me sick. The search is on for a male. A video has been circulating of the, you can't even call him a male. He's been sexually abusing a child. A video is circulating around. And the police has actually said they actually are aware of this, which makes you absolutely sick. These people are not human beings. They're actually, I can't even call them animals because animals don't do that sort of stuff either. So there's no name you can call them, which is absolutely disgusting. And my final look is chase and chop. Now, a woman was found dead on her farm. In fact, it was her yam farm. And I think she and her partner got into something in Trelawney. And that's why they call it chase and chop. Disgusting. Chop up the woman. And I hope that gets sorted out very, very quick. And I said this is happening in Trelawney. So, moving away from those stories. Each week I'm going to try and feature some of those terrible things that is happening. It's not good, but it's the reality of life. And nobody send me a cuss down Jamaica because, if I don't do it, we see it on YouTube, we see it on the news. It's big news out there. So, you know what I mean? It's not me doing it. If you go to Jamaica News, you see it stream all over the world on YouTube. You see it stream everywhere, yeah? So, I'm not having a go at Jamaica. I'm just talking the reality of things, yeah? Because I know I'm a Jamaican, so I know. I'm born in Jamaica, so I know. I know what somebody thinking. Let me move. Now, sports. Lewis Hamilton gave a blunt reaction to FIA. They talk about the they actually admitted that human error was made during the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which was last year, which actually cost Lewis Hamilton the race, which was actually disgusting. So they're actually saying now, oh, it was human error. And as I say, if the so-called human error wasn't there, Lewis Hamilton would have been 8 times world champion. You know what I mean? And they should have given they should actually give him the race. You know what I mean? Instead of allowing Max Verstappen to walk away with the race, you know what I mean? They should have actually give him back and says, devolve the race and say we're gonna do it again. You know what I mean? So, but you know when money tie up in things, what happens? Yeah. Also, Lewis Hamilton, I must say, because this is some people say this is karma. some people say this is karma, right? Because now, yes, it's not. Lewis Hamilton's in the Bahrain Grand Prix, which was just the season has just started. Now, Lewis Hamilton, actually, what did he do? He finished 3rd on the podium. Leclerc win the race. And as I said, the Italian team came 1st and 2nd. Lewis was on the podium again, and he comes actually 3rd. But think about it now. You see, now this is where the karma thing come in, because I shouldn't laugh. Let me try to keep a straight face. The karma thing comes in because Max Verstappen and the Red Bull team, they crashed out of the race, so they never finish. That's why a lot of people say karma comes around, yeah? Does that make sense?
Goes around, comes around, yeah. Absolutely.
It's one of them, wasn't it? Now, this is also another interesting story I got for you. Now, Ian Wright, see, what happened here now, you see? A lot of people being sort of, they've been having a go at Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford is not as where he wants to be at the moment. And they've been having a go at Marcus Rashford, right? So one fan's been having a go at Marcus Rashford. So Marcus Rashford, I think Marcus Rashford have a go back. And then, what did Marcus Rashford did? Marcus Rashford apologized. So Ian Wright says, what are you apologizing for? Don't let them step on you. Don't apologize for nothing. You know what I mean? Because they keep doing this, they keep having a go. Don't apologize for nothing. What you apologizing for? There's no need to apologize. And I tell you, there's a video actually circulating around. Where Marcus Rashford and Ian Wright, I should say Ian Wright, the video of Ian Wright is actually circling around it, and he swears at him, says, Marcus, you got no... I can't swear on this program. I do not have to swear, but I can't swear on this program. Marcus Wright, you should... to off. Marcus Wright, you shouldn't be off. Marcus Wright, you shouldn't apologize. So, that is what my good friend Ian Wright say. You know what I mean? I never see Ian Wright like this, but it was actually... I think he was actually amazing, yeah? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the program, yeah? Now... I think I've moved to entertainment. Yes. Now, entertainment is Sensia has actually launched her album. And the album has reached the top of the iTunes chart. In fact, the album is doing very, very well. A lot of people like the album. You have to edit a lot of the album though, because I play a couple of tracks on it and I say, Silencia? Yes, I say, Silencia? I says, yes, Silencia. But she's going to do very, very well, this lady. You know? She's going to do fantastic, because I think there's going to be there's a lot of foreign interest that's going to go on in this. However, at her party, you know, there's supposed to be a COVID restriction in it, but a lot of people was at her party. And even the security minister was at her party. And some people are saying, did he breach, you know, the Management Act because of all this? And I said there was a lot of people at this party, and it's like there's been a double standard going on. Like, say, how come all these so-called people can be at this party when there's COVID restriction and all the rest of it? You know what I mean? And the PMP was there, the JLP was there. And them said don't get on, you know, but they was all at this party. Them said they were opposite to each other, but they was still all at this party. You see how people can turn things around when they want to. So, And I say, so as I said, there's a lot of controversy being going around about this party, but it was a nice party. And I got to tell you, Sincere is also will be at Reggae Sumfest this year, July. And we, Breakthrough TV, are actually hoping to get out there. All be well. We'll be at Reggae. My producer is looking at shaking his head and I said, yeah, man. We'll be at Reggae Sumfest this year, right down here in Jamaica. So look up, because we're coming on the beach, you know, because we're coming on the beach to do what's on your mind. Don't say I'll never tell you. Now, move on to Mary J Blige. Mary J Blige. My next story is Mary J Blige. Mary J Blige. I don't want to tend to somebody all the time. Don't want the stress. This is what Mary J Blige, because Mary J Blige got a new album out, and this is what she actually says. And that's based on the fact that she says she don't have any kids. She don't want the stress, and she don't want the that sort of thing. So she says, no, she's not gonna have any kids, and that's what the reason she give for not having any children. Yeah. So as I say, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So now there you have it. My wonderful guest. Do you like Mary J Blige?
I like some of her stuff. Not a fan.
You're not a fan?
Not in a bad way.
Yeah.
I just don't follow certain types of music.
Certain types of
but
music.
she's done some good stuff. Yeah.
You're a reggae lover, aren't you?
I am.
You're a big reggae lover.
Yeah, I like my roots.
Yeah, it's marvelous. I'm gonna draw in a little bit. Just give me a second. Now,
Okay.
I gotta have this quick look around because this is an experience I wanna put out there. Now, I gotta tell you this story because a friend of mine, colleague, he was very ill, and his partner, she was also very ill. They had a COVID test. His partner, she got really bad. They both had a COVID test at home, right? He got really bad, and they called the ambulance. When the ambulance came and took him to hospital, same day, couple of hours, same time, they do another COVID test, only to find out that he had COVID. Right? So you know me now. Common sense. Common sense tells me that the COVID strips that you see or the COVID test that you do at home is not 100%, is it? Can't be. And he never picked it up in the hospital because he wasn't in the lung long enough to pick it up. So I'm not blaming the health. But if you take a COVID test at home and a couple later, an ambulance come for you, that means I'm not knocking in medical people because they know everything. But you know what? When you say things like this, what helps medical people is the fact that when you say things like this, they will look into it and see, because that's what they do. Sometimes they have to work with us, even they are so clever, but sometimes they have to work with us. So my understanding is that the COVID test you do at home, not in all cases, because there has to be some faulty one as well. So the COVID test you do at home is not 100% guarantee in some cases. I am going to leave it at that. That is a good one to think about. Now my guest, sis, as you know, she was stripped. Is that abuse? And a 15-year-old girl in London, at a London school. The police was called. She was stripped. She was menstruating at the time. No adult was present. Looking for what? Cannabis. Cannabis of all the drugs in the world. Why do you strip a 15-year-old girl down looking for cannabis? Is there some racist thing going on here? Sis?
Yes, definitely racist. Definitely. They found no cannabis.
Yes.
They smelt cannabis.
Yeah.
She's in a hall.
Yeah.
Doing an exam with how many other children?
Yeah.
Why just I mean, were they sniffing around her to say that it was her? It was coming from her? Because I can walk out my front door and smell cannabis.
Yeah.
And an old lady could be walking past. Is that her smoking it, or is it just the smell of it? My mind is blown by the way the school handled this.
Yeah.
Blown.
And the thing about it, they come up with this silly excuse that she looked older, or they didn't know her age. She looked older than some stupid report has come out. She looks older than something. And like what are the report? Oh, African Caribbean people or British African Caribbean people looks older than what we say. You know,
yes.
the others, which we don't necessarily buy into. But the other thing is that she's at school. They know the school she's at. If you want to know her age, what do? You look it up at school, innit?
Well, she's at school,
yeah.
So she's obviously in her teens.
Yes.
You know, they're always trying to make children become more adult-like, looking at us as adults.
That's right.
Because of how we are. Yeah. You know, maybe we're more confident in how we walk, how we talk, how we do what we do. Yeah. And maybe we're blessed as young girls in certain places at a certain age. You know, and they sexualize us as well.
Yeah,
young girls.
Yeah.
How could they not know her age? I think that is absolutely...
It is ridiculous. And they talk about, we smell cannabis. If you go to London, as I say, you smell cannabis everywhere. If you step out of where we are now, you smell cannabis everywhere.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
The procedure would have been to let her do her exam. Why did they not let her do her exam? And then talk to her. What was the urgency? Yeah. It's not like they saw a gun sticking out of her pocket. Yeah, I could, take you out and take the gun off you. What's going on? It's a smell. Let her do her exam. Yes. Call her parents.
Exactly. Totally agree with you. Punch me.
Sit down with her parents.
Yes.
Have a meeting.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to go. Yeah. Police and strip search don't even come into that equation.
No.
I've been in situations with children where I'm guessing these type of people who did this would have called police. Yeah. We called the parents. You discuss it there. As a team, you work together. Yeah. They just procedure just went out the window with this. Totally went out the window. And that's racism.
I can't help thinking that they would not do it to they would not do this to a white teenager, would they?
They would never.
I can't help saying that.
They would never. Even your story just now about was he a white boy doing the drive-by shooting? Yeah. 5 years.
Exactly, 5 years. If he was somebody of colour, he would get more.
If you were somebody of colour, you get 5 years for stealing a bottle of water.
This is at school. This is in front of a school, and he get 5 years. It's ridiculous, you know.
It makes no sense.
I mean,
it does make sense.
I heard a commentator from LBC in London, and he was talking about this. And he was disgusted. You know what I mean? This is London. This is the capital of the UK. This is England. You know what I mean? And you have things like this going on in a modern time like this for what? Cannabis?
Yeah, anything. It could have been anything. As far as I'm concerned, they look for an excuse, to target you. Honestly, it could have been anything, not just cannabis. It could have just been the way she wore her hair. Yeah, it could have been that, It could have been that she maybe had a bit of makeup on.
No. And as I say, a couple of police are under investigation, but we can't prejudge things like that because we shouldn't do anything. Will anything happen? Will anything happen? With the school? What should happen? What should happen?
They should all be fired. All the safeguarding team gone.
And this is
gone because that is not procedure. Yeah. They totally went against procedure. And I know they've sacked one teacher, but you don't make those decisions on your own as a teacher. No. Even me as a mentor, as a lead mentor, I would go to my line manager. Yeah. And then we would talk to the head. And then it's a decision. It's not just you one that can make that decision.
So the whole chain would have known. So the whole chain has literally fallen apart, and I was involved in this.
School is not fit for purpose right now anyway for black children.
Serious.
It is not fit for purpose.
What do you explain to me? Why do you say that?
There's no there's no education. You know, you learn to read and write and do your mathematics and your science and your geography. What about life? What about life? What about what is going on in the real world?
Okay. Yeah.
You know, I mean, back in the day, we would do home economics, a bit of cooking, woodwork, things like that. I don't think that happens anymore, preparing you for something.
Yeah.
You know, but as far as, like, because this is a racist society. I don't care. I'm 61 years old.
Yeah.
And I saw racism from the day I was 5.
Serious?
When 2 old white people walked past me and spat at me.
You're joking.
And called me a little nignog. That's when I thought, wow, what is this? Because in our house, we wasn't taught that. I had a nana who was white. So colour wasn't an issue in our house.
Yeah.
So, and I'm 61 now. What's changed? I can still go to certain places in Wales and probably in Birmingham and be called a nigger or a coon or whatever than all the words they used to say back then.
Yeah.
So it's not fit for purpose. We need to be talking about these things in school. We have Black History Month where we get a week. I used to do Black History Month in school for a week.
For a week.
Where Year 2 would talk about Mary Seacole, which is all well and good.
Yeah.
It's nice that they know.
Yes.
But that's not the reality.
No, that's
Our
right.
Our history needs to be put in with their
history.
And
you know, the thing about, we hear this broadcast on time and time again, the Mary Seacole, and there's nothing wrong with it, the Mary Seacole, the Marcus Garvey and all the rest of it.
It's good to know them
there's nothing wrong with it, but it needs to go deeper, doesn't it?
Definitely. It needs to be on the curriculum.
Yeah.
We've been saying it for time.
Yeah.
For time. It needs to be on the curriculum. You have the Romans. Every year, that's part of your history lesson. Romans, the Tudors, or whatever else. People lived in caves, I don't know. Whatever history, white history, is what they're pushing at you all the time. And it's the same old regurgitating. Yeah. I mean, I only just found out last year or the year before that Henry VIII had a black trumpeter. And he was very well established. You know, he could argue with Henry VIII about his wages.
Okay.
So, and Servetus, was it Servetus who served as a Roman emperor?
Yeah.
Black man?
Yeah.
I'm 61 and I'm just learning that.
Serious.
Why are our children not learning these things? Yeah. And you know what? White man is ashamed of his history. But until they confront their history, nothing's going to change.
You know, I was a volunteer say about 8 years ago. I was a volunteer at a shop that we sell like a lot of arts and CDs and music and DJ stuff. You know, I mean, I was a volunteer there. And I recall there's some ladies actually came in and they was actually they was asking to sign petition to get Black history taught in school.
In the curriculum, yeah.
And that's been going on for a long, long time.
Yes.
And it still hasn't changed.
No. I've been out of work for 10 years. 10 years, it'll be 10 years next year. And we were talking about it then.
Serious.
You know, it's necessary. Some of those teachers, I mean, I could tell you some stories. The way that they talk about these children in the staff room.
No, you're not joking. I'm not even going to say you're not joking.
No, I can tell you, I fell out with a lot of staff members because I don't take that. I fight for those children. That was my job, was to be there for those children, not to be there for the staff. Be there for the children.
What about leaders?
Yeah.
We haven't got enough. What about our so-called community leaders? Shouldn't they be on even the churches?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shouldn't I mean, I know the church, we're not getting in politics, you know, shouldn't the churches or what we call British African Caribbean churches getting involved in things like that? Or when you hear things like that school, I think they actually say something. I think I actually saw something about it on Facebook today. Even when you hear something about this child going on, shouldn't the churches, you know what I mean, get involved and say something? In this particular incident? In this particular incident, yeah.
Well, I think everybody should be involved.
Yeah.
No matter what walk of life you come from.
Yeah.
You should be involved. I mean, at the rally on the weekend in
London,
Yeah. There were politicians there. Diane Abbott was there.
Yeah.
They were ex-police, young black police girl. She was an ex-police officer. she was there, you know, talking about the racism within the police force itself.
Yeah.
You know, there were people from all walks of life there, and that's what it's going to take. And remember, they've taken our community centres away.
Yeah.
There's nowhere for youth to go, and I'm not saying that this situation would have changed for that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nowhere for these youth to go. So those leaders are being hidden in some ways or another. I know a lot of good men and women in Birmingham who used to work as youth leaders, but don't do that anymore because there's no youth centres. So they have to go find work somewhere else. So they're leaders, there's leaders out there. How do they access children without being in a job where children come to you?
But do you think, I want to ask, do you think some of us, people need of color, I'm going to say, I'm not, you know what I mean, but I'm going to say color.
Yeah.
Some of us people of color need to step up, who's got some authority or who's got some, you know what I mean, some prestige, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To say step up and listen, say this can't happen, this is, you know what I mean? Because some of these people we end up voting for anyway, if we give them a vote and they pass it on to somebody else, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. I think you kind of lose a little bit of yourself once you get into, you know, once they've had a vote.
Yeah, because we all vote for them. Well, some of us
simulate
do.
Into the culture of the politics. Yeah. You become less human as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You know, it's about numbers, how many votes you can get. It's not about fulfilling your promise.
Exactly.
And if it is, it's 10 years down the line, and then it's a little bit a token gesture.
Yeah.
It's too long. I've seen too much, and you know.
Well, you work with children. What are some of the things you see when you're working with children? Because you say you was working in something.
I was working in a primary school. Some of the attitudes of the teachers towards the children, and don't get me wrong, there were a lot of good teachers where I worked. We had a really good, you know, some were weeded out. But I'm talking some of management.
Serious.
Where I've had to discuss issues with the head where I'm not happy, and I don't feel like I wasn't in management position at the time. But if I'm here to protect these children, and I'm seeing the way that teacher is talking down to this teacher, pushing, shoving, shouting, frightening the child, then I'm going to come and tell you I don't care what his position is, because these children have come here to learn and to feel safe. You know, I've had an incident where some of my children, because I work with the naughty children, and that's called behaviour management, but they were the best. They just had so much going on up here. Yeah. That it wasn't being, what's the word? It wasn't being channeled. Yeah. It wasn't being channeled. So one incident that sticks out in my head was when I had an assembly for these children, and one of the boys, they were all talking about, when I grow up, I want to be so-and-so. And I was stood at the back next to one of this white teacher, who I actually admired because we worked close together, until I heard him say, one of my children said, when I grow up, I want to be, and he whispered in my ear, a drug dealer.
What?
I thought, right, as soon as this assembly is over, me and you are going to talk outside.
Serious?
Is this how you think of these children?
He whispered in there. So basically what he's doing is just taking his money. He's not doing anything. They're just taking the money at them.
The worst thing is he was a good teacher.
Yeah.
For what he did. And he even had a great relationship with the kids. So that actually surprised me when that came out of his mouth. And I thought, this is deep-seated in you people. You know, given the right, like, you're comfortable now with me, a black woman, you think you can say that. No. You've chose the wrong person. Yeah. I'm here for these children. That's what I'm getting paid to do. Yeah. You know, you have to look at those children like they're your own. Yeah. Regardless of what colour they were. And I work with all races. All races. All races.
Do you think some of these children, because of that sort of attitude, some of these children ended up leaving school or getting expelled from school and end up like we see some things happening on the street? And I'm not blaming that for everything, but something happening. And so how do you explain like children leaving school or not getting on in school and then they don't have anywhere to go or whatever?
I think it's multi-layered. You can't just blame the school. Okay. School didn't raise these children. Yeah. Parents, from birth. Parents, their foundation years are the years that really you need to keep them close. You know, some parents, yeah, you know, certain lifestyles, what they see on the street mainly. Like if they're seeing like somebody walk down the street with gold and smoking weed, and you know, they might not have that a positive something at home, or they're on their computers at home all the time. I had a lot of children who didn't go bed till 1 o'clock in the morning. They had laptops where they were watching all kinds of things, and I'm like, no, 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 no. So it's a combination, and the society that we live in, it's tough. I just think it's tough for children, and I think it's tough for parents. So many rights are being taken away.
Oh yeah, you've hit the nail on the head.
So
you can't say this, you can't do that, and there's nothing you can do.
There's no pointing finger, because it's multi, and I think the pointing of the finger is what they want us to do, if that makes sense. Like I said, taking away community centres.
Yeah.
When I moved here, they had community centres. They had Saturday schools. My boys did everything. Yeah. Anything I could find, I would throw them into. And made good friendships and learned how to get on through the help of these community leaders, youth leaders.
Okay.
That's gone. So where are your children going now? You know, just get out of my house. I'm done. You know, I've had a hard day at work. I don't need you in here. Go play with your friend for an hour. You don't know what they're doing out there.
I see what you're saying.
You know, and you can't know, because you can't follow them everywhere. But there are other children who are older out there that they might be looking up to. Yeah. You know, it's hard to point a finger. And education. If we had the right education, if they'd taken away the community centres and put something into the curriculum that was helpful to these children, and I do know they have some programmes, but it's only a certain handful of children that
gets into those programmes.
Like talented and gifted programmes. So a group of children would do something, would have extra support in school for, say somebody was really clever at writing, you know, they would get extra support. They would be a star child, so they would be bigged up. You know, but that's only a handful of children. But all the children need that, even if it's the smallest thing.
I see that. Yeah.
You know, you wrote your name really well today. A lot of children don't hear that.
Don't hear that.
A lot of children don't get hugged. Children used to run into school and throw their arms around me, and I'm because you're not allowed to hug them.
You're doing really well.
So I
guess they don't get that. You're doing really well. You're doing great. They don't get that.
Because they're maybe a bit fidgety, or they were naughty a couple of times.
And I can't say. Well, I was going to say, is that part of society? But I can't say whole of society is like that. Can I? I can't say that. Is that? How do you explain that?
I don't know. I think we're in a mess at the moment, if I'm honest. Marley keeps coming to my head. Total destruction is the only solution, because it's like so much needs to be done, and everybody needs to play a part. Yeah. Everybody, whether I say just a parent, but you know what I mean. If you're a parent at home all the time, if you're somebody that works in, I don't know, as the school, politics, whatever. It's across the board. Yeah. It's across the board. We all need to do better.
And I don't know how you do that, you know. It's like $64 million. I'm not going to say that, £64 million. We don't use dollar here.
But I do think schools, because that's where your children are the best part of the day.
That's right.
Need to definitely have an overhaul. Definitely. It is not fit for purpose, and I've been saying it for years. It's not fit for purpose.
Have you approached organisation and say this or whatever?
Have I approached organisation?
Yeah, I would listen or whatever. I don't know.
10 years ago we were talking about this, and probably I can say 10 years ago, which was when I left my job. But I'm sure they were talking about it way before that, because the mentor I worked with, the lead mentor when I first started, she was very conscious of these things. Very, you know, she was tough black woman. I loved her for it, because she knew what needed to be done, and she stood strong in that school. Yeah. And we were a team of 5 or 6 mentors, and then they got rid. Down to one mentor, which was me.
Why do you think they do that? Why do you think they do that? Is it because of money or what? Why do they do that? If something's working well, why do you change it?
Who knows what goes on in management sometimes? It's like politicians, isn't it? we'll have a raise of 20,000 each a year, but the man down the road, yeah, we'll give him £2.50 extra a month on his wages.
Yeah.
You know, you're in a position and you want more. You know, when we don't all have morals.
Yeah, that is true.
You know, it's not always about the children. Like I said, for me and for the team I worked with, and the team that still work at the school next door as well in the secondary school, fabulous team, I have to say, fabulous team of mentors.
Yeah.
It was about the children. Those children would be our children. If a child came to school and was hungry, I would get them toast. If a child came to school with ripped trousers, I would sew their trousers.
You sew it for them.
That's how we worked.
Yeah.
That's how you work if that's your child.
Marvellous, marvellous, marvellous.
That's how it should be.
Marvellous. Let me engage you one more point before we sort of wrap it up. Knife crime. What can you tell me about knife crime? What is this driven? That's so negative. And I've talked about this many times. And what is going on there?
Honestly, I just don't think our children have self-worth. And again, I take it back to the school because that's where a lot of my thinking comes from. If they knew about where they'd come from, if they knew how great their ancestors were, then it's a different matter. When you know something, you can look up to somebody and think differently. I can be that. Oh, I can be that. You know, but you told you can't be. I remember saying to a teacher at school, where's my people in history lessons, when I was a young girl in secondary school. Yeah. Where's my people in history? I'm sick of this. You know, I was a bit naughty, to be honest. And she went, oh, your people were slaves and that's all you need to know. This was in the 70s in Wales. I'm not joking. Serious. And from that day forward, every history lesson, I was made to sit outside the class, just write lines. That was it. I wanted to know where my people were in the history because everything you're showing me is white people, white kings and queens, and we're slaves. So, you know, slave master did a good job on us. Yeah. A good job. We got a lot of them picking. And
your mother wasn't a slave, or your father wasn't a slave.
No.
And your grandparents probably wasn't a slave. No. I mean, probably has to go back about the probably next generation. The probably next generation or the next generation before that. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, because I know. I mean, my as I said to you, one of my grandmother, she was 96, and her mother wasn't a slave. No. You understand? So you see, I go back, and her mother before that wasn't a slave.
But you're not told that.
Yeah.
In school.
Yeah.
I mean, and even if my family wasn't, I feel that pain because of how I've been treated as a black woman. Yeah. Or as a black person. You know, my brothers got treated the same way.
Serious. Yeah. What's the answer?
Honestly, it's a tough one, isn't it? But again, curriculum, that would be a start. Weeding out these type of police officers that did child Q like how they did her. Yeah. That was abuse.
It is abuse.
That was a sexual assault.
It is abuse, yeah.
That was degrading. Yeah. Absolutely degrading.
You know what I noticed as well? I haven't heard one MP come out, away from probably Diane Abbott who was there. I mean, you probably see the news more than I do over the weekend. I haven't heard one sort of an MP or anybody like that come out. Have you? An MP or anybody like that come out and says and condemn this? I haven't seen it.
I think they're still waiting for BJ, aren't they, to say something? But he's tied up with his European.
Boris Johnson not going to say nothing. I guess. Well, I could say probably they don't want to say nothing because of there's an investigation that's going to go on, you know. So they probably don't want to say anything about the They don't want to sort of.
Other politicians are raising it.
Maybe they don't want to say that because of they're waiting for an investigation. There has to be an investigation, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose when it's the police, there has to be an investigation. If it was you or I, you would already be locked up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You would already be locked up. If a child came forward and said, "You did this to me, he did that to me," you would already have been arrested. These two police officers did that to me. Oh, we have to have an investigation. Yeah. That has to stop. Yeah. That has to stop. They get away with too much. Yeah. They get away with too much.
And teachers? You've said it already, and you said the teacher should be sacked.
The whole safeguarding team.
Because it's a whole,
because they did not safeguard that child.
No. And I've seen a report where the child has sort of like really she's really distressed. You know what I mean? They say she's probably you know what I mean. She's gonna need a lot of care.
Yes, a lot.
She's gonna need she's gonna need a lot of care, you know what I mean, and a lot of help.
A lot of
and I said this on my radio show because I do a radio show, and I did say on my radio show, I hope she's protected and she's not identified until if she decides to come and tell her story when she gets a lot older. Yeah. Definitely.
Although who knows what the next years hold for her? But, you know, she's in a terrible state.
Yeah.
To go through that at 15, and now we know, we're only finding out now, this was 2 years ago. So
yeah, because as I said, we only know about this because of the report that comes out, isn't it?
It's not good. I'm not sure if I got time to read a little or something. But
you pick it up and see if you want to pick it up.
Should I do it now? Because we're talking about child
care. Yeah, you might as well, yeah. I think we got probably about another 7 minutes or so.
Oh, it will only take me 2. Yeah. It's just a little poem I wrote.
Okay, lovely. Let's hear your poem, yeah.
Okay. I think I can do without my glasses, actually.
I hope so. You can't borrow mine.
Okay. Child Q, what did you do? On your way to school, you never knew the outcome of that day. You never knew you would be treated in such a way. A beautiful young black queen, a life full of joy and a future bright, walking into an exam you studied hard for that night. Child Q, what did you do? In walks a member of staff, angry and so serious, to change up your life, your day. Confused you were thinking, why are they treating me this way? Child Q, what did you do? Well, we smell cannabis. We're calling the police to investigate this, to search and shame you, and there's nothing you can do. Now you're crying, afraid and alone, taken into a room to be stripped and searched, made to bear your menstruating body, praying for your mama to come, treated and regarded like a piece of meat, a dog on the street they would better treat. Procedure has no place here. Why? Because you're black. There's no other explanation why they treated you like that. Child Q, my heart breaks for you. Flashbacks to the plantation where our ancestors were raped and preyed on, stripped of our dignity and self-worth, treated like the scum of the earth. We are told that there's no racism here. We must get over our past and move on. Tell me, how do we do that when a child is made to fear? Child Q, we are fighting for you. We will fight until racism is gone. We will fight to our last breath. We continue the chant, no justice, no peace, no racist police. No justice, no peace, no racist police. Fear not, young queen, you are not alone. We are here for you to help you reclaim your throne. No more will they degrade our daughters and sons. Why? Because we are the chosen ones.
Marvelous. Maximum respect. Come on, shake my hand, hold my hand. Nice one. When did you write that?
5:30.
5:30 today?
The other morning. No, Monday morning.
Yeah.
I just woke up thinking, Child Q, what did you do?
Yeah.
What did you do?
It's marvellous.
To warrant that treatment.
It's absolutely marvellous.
And it just would not leave my head. And I thought, just write something down.
Marvellous, fantastic. You write a lot of poems?
I used to.
You used to?
I think it's coming back.
Yeah, well, don't give up. Let it come back. Let it come back.
It's what inspires me.
It's what inspires me.
If something inspires me to, to say something, because I have a voice, but I don't have a radio show.
Okay.
So it's the perfect time.
Marvelous. Let me say, sis.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming to the show.
Absolutely. Thank you. I enjoyed every minute.
We love you.
Hopefully see you again.
Yeah. Guys, let me say thank you for watching the program. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the program. Let me say thank you. Can't thank all you guys who supported the program over the last couple of months. Let me say thank you. And a big shout out to all you guys who took part in the program, you know what I mean? And from our very first program, we lost all Patricia Panta, Melika Queely, Brother Simon Solomon, Sassy D, so many of you. But next week or the week before, I'm going to do a full roll call. And our wonderful sister here with us.
Yes.
We say thank you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back here next week with another program in the series of What's on Your Mind. Check us out. Have a lovely evening. We say thank you. Maximum respect. God bless you. My time
On Your
is
Mind
here.
is sponsored by ACMC 339 Dudley Road, New Style Radio 98.7 FM, Breakthrough Studios, and Reggae Jam Jam.
Planning an event? Do it professionally. Please contact Breakthrough Event Management Team and get everything under one roof for both indoor and outdoor occasions, birthday parties, bridal and baby showers, anniversaries, funerals, backyard BBQs and more. We offer a video and photography service, marquees, decoration and a PA system to hire, with popular new style radio DJs spinning old and new school hits. Please contact 07584 197 380 and book all your catering needs with Reggae Jam Jam catering service on 0787
244 3765.
And remember, do it good and done.